Let me play it again. Hi, good evening everyone. Are we connected to Facebook Live? I think we are. Yes, we are. It's saying we are live now. So good evening, and welcome to our Christmas webinar. And I'm so excited to have with us this evening. We have wonderful Arliss. But I'm just going to introduce myself. I am Shirley Powell. I am an author, speaker, health and lifestyle coach, mentor, entrepreneur, health and well-being specialist, and a local pastor, and the CEO and founder of Your Life in Your Hands. So welcome, everyone. We are so happy to have you with us tonight. And I just want to say, while you're here, if you're watching, just to let you know, we're going to share some secret sauce on helping you to live and stay well. And here's some amazing self-love and self-care tips from our wonderful speakers. And our two guest speakers are Arliss and Dr. Hillary. And we have Arliss, who's our first speaker, who's going to be here. And I'm so excited to have you both here tonight. So I'm just going to bring Hillary in so you can see her as well. Good evening, Dr. Hillary. So lovely to have you with us. Good evening.
I'm glad to be with you at Arliss. Wonderful.
Oh, it's so wonderful to have you both here this evening. I just want to ask the audience where you are tonight. Where are you watching from? Where are you actually coming in from? We'd love to hear from you tonight to see where you are. If you can pop that in the chat. And I just want to acknowledge those who are watching tonight. If anybody has a birthday, we want to wish you a happy birthday. If there's anybody celebrating an anniversary, happy anniversary. If there's anybody that's, just feeling good and happy today, have a celebration. We celebrate you tonight in Jesus' name. We celebrate you. So I just want to say we are so glad to have, and I'm just going to say a little bit about both of our wonderful speakers, and just want to say that we are pleased to present. We have Dr. Hillary. I'm just going to share. We have Dr. Hillary here with us tonight. She is an author, a speaker, a vibrant life coach, a Cered Lymphology, get it right, expert. She's also a spiritual leader. And we also have Arliss Dudley-Cash, and she is a #1 international best-selling author, business consultant, self-love coach, and Arliss is an inspirational speaker and self-love movement leader. So we are so excited to have both of you here tonight. And I can't wait to hear what you're going to share with our audience. So let's see what our audience is saying at the moment. Let's have a look and see over here. Oh, we have Shirley. Good evening, Shirley. Happy Tuesday. We're so glad to have you with us. And hoping that you can share, please share the link so other people can come on and join you. Lovely to have you with us from Nigeria. Wonderful to have you with us. So we're going to now go straight in and have our first speaker for the night. And as I said earlier, she's our international best-selling author, and she's a self-coach, and that is Arliss Dudley-Cash. And it's so lovely to have you with us this evening, Arliss. I'm so pleased to have you all the way from Hawaii.
Thank you, Shirley, for having me here. I'm just so excited, and it's such an honor to be here with you and Dr. Hillary. And this is just incredible. And I can't wait to tell you all about the science of self-love. It's such exciting stuff to me. So I don't know about any of you out there, but I'm a nerd. Like, I am such a nerd. And I have to ask, Shirley and Dr. Hillary, do you consider yourselves nerds? Do you consider yourselves science buffs a little bit?
Well, a little bit.
Just a little bit? Well,
yeah.
I am way more than a little bit of a nerd. So we're going to dive into the science of self-love today. So strap in. It's going to be a lot of fun. So my first question, so there was a research study done, and my first question to everyone out there, and you can put it in the chat, and I'm also going to ask Shirley and Dr. Hillary to respond too. How many thoughts in a day do you think the average person has? So do you think it's like 100 thoughts in a day, 1,000 thoughts in a day? How many thoughts in a day do you think an average person has, Dr. Hillary?
800.
800, yeah. How about you, Shirley?
Oh, it's more than that. I did I did a little bit of research on that, and I believe it's more than that. I'm thinking it's over thousands.
It is.
Yes.
It is. You are right in that ballpark. So it is actually over 6,000 thoughts in a day, which is huge, right? If you think about it, like those are the thoughts and the dialogue that we are having with ourselves in our own minds every single day. So then my next follow-up question, and I'm just so grateful that Shirley and Dr. Hillary said that they would participate in all my questions today. So I just thank you so much for being part of this talk today. And the listeners can put it in the chat. What percentage of those thoughts do you think in the average person are negative? What percentage?
Wow.
Dr. Hillary, what do you think?
Oh, wow. I want to say it's kind of maybe a large number. So let's say about 50, a little over 50%.
Over 50%. I love that answer. Yeah, you're getting there. How about you, Shirley?
Wow. I would say about 80%.
You know, I think you have been peeking at my notes, Shirley. Dr. Hillary, it's not so fair. Peeking at my notes.
Not fair.
I've been doing some research around this, but I didn't know you were going to talk about this. We didn't plan this.
Yes, you are absolutely right, Shirley. It is 80%. So if we think about that, you know, we have over 6,000 thoughts in a day. 80% or more of them in the average person are negative. That's a huge amount of negative self-talk going on inside each one of us. And you're probably asking, Arliss, why is this important? What does this have to do with our overall health? And I'm going to tell you because it is critically important. So Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn, who was a Nobel laureate in biochemistry, she did research on the telomeres. So in our DNA structure, there are the ends of our DNA. And I like to hold them like this when I'm talking about them, the ends of our DNA. And those ends of our DNAs are called the telomeres. And those telomeres are critically important because they are part of what control in our body how long we live, so the longevity of our lifetime, and our resilience to experiencing disease in our body and sickness in our body.
Wow.
And so you're probably asking, well, Arliss, okay, so we have these parts of our DNA and they're really important. They're called the telomeres. You know, they help us be resilient towards illness and they help us live longer lives. What does that have to do with self-talk? Well, it is critically integrated to self-talk because her research showed that our cells, those little tiny things in our bodies, are listening to us.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow. I mean, I want to pause there. So we have over 6,000 thoughts in a day. Over 80% of them are negative, and our cells are listening to us.
Wow, it's true. Wow, and that's amazing.
I know, it's amazing. And guess what? When our cells
are listening to us,
when our cells hear negative self-talk, they actually go into a stress response. And when they go into that stress response, it wears down the ends of our DNA. It wears down our telomeres.
Wow.
That's
right? Amazing. That's amazing. Yeah.
So what this means is that when we are speaking negatively to ourselves, we are actually functionally shortening our lifespan, and we are making ourselves more susceptible to illness.
It's not good. That's not good at all.
It's not good. And this is also exciting news because, and her research showed this as well, that when we speak positively to ourselves, our cells hear that too. And they respond in supporting the health of our telomeres. So when we speak positively to ourselves, our cells respond in a way that supports us in living longer lives, healthier lives, and happier lives.
Wow.
How exciting is that?
Yes, it is.
It's very exciting. It sounds much better to do that than to do negative talk.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd love for all of us to practice positive self-talk this morning as a way to kind of support ourselves in supporting our telomeres. So if you're at home, I want you to find a mirror. If you're on your computer, you can look at yourself in your camera. Okay. Shirley knows what's coming. I can see it on her face. I'm sure Dr. Hillary knows what's coming too. We're going to look ourselves.
Talk to ourselves.
Yes, we're going to talk to ourselves. We're going to look ourselves in the eyes.
Wow.
We're going to talk to ourselves and we're going to say, I love you. So I want everybody to get up close, look yourself in the eyes and say, I love you.
I love you.
Fantastic. That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. And not only have we just supported ourselves in, protecting and supporting our telomeres, we've also activated a part of our brain. So I warned you guys. I told you guys I was a total nerd, right? Shirley, I said that. Shirley, I said I was a nerd, right?
You did.
Dr. Hillary, I said I was a nerd, right?
You did.
Well, we're going to talk about brain science now. We are going to go all the way to neuroscience now because I just can't help myself. I love learning and teaching about science. So there is actually a pathway in our brain called the frontostriatal pathway. And there was research done at Dartmouth College that showed that this pathway is dedicated to nothing but self-esteem and self-love.
Wow.
And I always have to pause right there because there's a whole pathway in our brain that is dedicated to self-esteem and self-love.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. And this pathway in our brain is the bridge between the prefrontal cortex and the ventral striatum. And why is this important? This is important because those areas of our brain help us with motivation, decision-making, and rewarding ourselves.
Wow. So that helps us with motivation, you said?
Yep. Motivation, decision-making, and rewarding ourselves.
Wow, that's amazing.
And
we need a lot of that, really, right now.
We do, right? And one of the things that is so amazing about this frontal striatal pathway is that when we speak lovingly to ourselves, when we give ourselves self-love, when we give ourselves self-care, we actually make it thicker, stronger, and more highly active.
Wonderful. I love it.
Which is amazing. And guess what, you all?
We're gonna do it.
Tell us more.
We already did it. We had a self-love workout just a couple minutes ago. When we looked ourselves in the eyes and said, I love you, we went to the neuroscience gym and we worked out our frontal striatal pathway.
Wow.
You already went to the gym today.
Wow.
All right.
Shirley's saying,
All right.
wow. On Facebook, she's saying, wow, and rewarding ourselves. Yes.
Awesome.
Wonderful. It's wonderful.
So when we speak positively to ourselves, we're much more likely to feel motivated. And I know that Shirley and Dr. Hillary are going to talk about this as well, how important feeling motivated to do something for our health is critical to actually doing something for our health.
Yes, I totally agree.
So when we are showing self-love to ourselves, we are increasing our ability to reach our health goals because we are increasing our ability to feel motivated. And one of the critically important parts of feeling motivated is rewarding ourselves. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. It's going to be a little revealing, but I'm going to answer it too, I promise. So who here has ever set a goal for their health, achieved the goal, didn't reward themselves or acknowledge themselves in any way, and went on to the next goal? Has anybody here ever done that?
Didn't reward themselves?
Did not reward themselves. Yep. I see hands up. I am sure that you are chatting in the chat.
Let's see what the audience is saying. Mr. Shirley, have you rewarded yourself? Or not rewarding yourself? She's not saying anything right now.
But it is so common that we set goals, we achieve them, even maybe exceed them, right? Exceed our goals with flying colors. We don't reward ourselves and we go on right to the next goal. Well, science has shown us that if we do that over and over again, our motivation each time we set a new goal goes further and further down. And we feel less and less motivated to achieve the next goal. And I don't know about all of you, but I've experienced that before. Like I've experienced that feeling of, okay, well, I did that and now I'm doing this. And like, why am I doing this now? You know, like that sense of lack of motivation. And so as Dr. Hillary is speaking and sharing her expertise, and as Shirley shares with you her expertise, and as you know, you set goals around self-love today, I also want you to put next to that goal how you're going to reward yourself. So as you're writing out that goal, write down right by it how you're going to reward yourself for achieving that goal so that you can keep your motivation high as you move on to the next goal.
So are we writing fast?
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about one more thing and then we're going to write down a goal around self-love.
Okay.
So,
let me see what the audience is saying. I've got a comment here. Shirley said yes.
Yes. It's very common to set goals and not reward ourselves, but we're going to change that today. So the last key point that I'm going to share with you today before we set our self-love goals is about a form of self-love, which is self-compassion. So self-compassion is all about accepting ourselves right here, right now as we are. It's all about looking at the real reality of the situation, right? So the reason we're here today is because we are acknowledging that there is some area of our health that we can grow and better in. And it is about setting realistic goals. And it is also about honoring ourselves when we've given effort, even if we haven't achieved our goal. Okay. So self-compassion, there was a research study done in 2020 around resilience, because I'm sure all of you have seen how resilience was so important in the year of 2020 with all of the lockdowns and the changes in people's lives and and the pandemic and everything. And they found in that research study that the secret sauce to resiliency among humans is self-compassion.
Wow.
So self-compassion allows us to bounce back from setbacks and to achieve our goals with even greater enthusiasm.
Self-compassion.
Yeah, so with that in mind, I now want to take 1 minute to come up with one activity that you can do to show yourself self-love in the new year. Just one activity. That can be meditation, it can be affirmations, it could be telling yourself that you love yourself each morning, it could be making yourself a cup of tea in the morning, it could be giving yourself a hug, it could be just acknowledging when a negative thought is present without even trying to change it. Just that acknowledgement by itself is an act of self-love. So let's take 1 minute, I'm timing it, to write down how you want to show yourself self-love in the new year, and how you're going to reward yourself for showing yourself that self-love. So the 1 minute is going to start right now. Go ahead and write that self-love practice down.
Let's see if our audience are doing it. Let me just write it down.
Yep, write that self-love practice down. Write down next to it how you're going to reward yourself. Okay, we're about halfway through the minute. Ooh. Dr. Hillary is on fire, you guys. I can't wait to share it. I can't wait to have her share with you what she's going to do next year. It's amazing. Okay, we have 15 seconds left. Go ahead and write down your self-love practice down and how you're going to reward yourself.
Oh, mine disappeared. Where did it go?
Okay, Dr. Hillary, do you want to share how are you going to show yourself self-love in the new year, and how are you going to reward yourself, Dr. Hillary?
I am going to stop at the mirror. There's a mirror not right out of my room, and I walk past it. I don't even look in it most of the time. And I got to the place one day. I walked past. I was going out the door, and I turned around and went back in the house, back to that mirror to look at myself and say, "You are beautiful. You are amazing."
Wow!
And then I went back out the house. So I need to do that more often. Give myself.
Yes, I love that.
Yes, I love it. It's so important and so amazing. That's such a great example. Everyone imagine if we lived in a world where every person was looking at themselves in the mirror in the mornings and saying, "You're amazing, you're beautiful, I love you." What if that was the world we were living in? Gosh, that's a world I want to live in.
Yeah.
How about you, Shirley? What do you want to do in the morning?
I'm going to, I should do this more often. I'm going to be more conscious, or intentional, I should say, to breathe and meditate first thing in the morning, even if it's for 10 minutes, just to breathe and meditate. Because sometimes I get up and I pray, but I don't always stay that meditate because my mind goes everywhere. So I have to be intentional.
I love that. I love that. That's fantastic. So these are just a couple of examples, and my self-love practice for the new year is to write a positive affirmation to myself each day and to say it out loud. So that is my self-practice for the new year. So you have heard 3 different examples of self-love practices for the new year. They're all very accessible. None of them take money, so they're completely free. You can just, do them with what you have there at home. So I invite you to make it a point to set that self-love goal, set how you're going to reward yourself and move into the new year supporting yourself and living a healthier life, living a longer life, and living a happier life. And that is the end of my talk today. Thank you so much.
That's amazing.
Wonderful.
I really enjoyed that, Arliss. That made me
Yes,
start to
love.
think, about, we should do that. I love that about motivating, to the more you self-love, the more you motivate, and it's better for you and for your cells as well. That's absolutely amazing. Let's see what our audience is saying here. Let's see what we're saying. Positive affirmations every morning. So Shirley is saying she's going to do positive affirmations every morning. Welcome, Verona. Verona just joined us from the States. Verona said she's going to be intentional. That is going to. But what about your self-love? Be intentional with what, Verona? Do share with us. That's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. So we have here that's amazing. Thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Didn't you enjoy that, sister Dr.
It was
Hillary?
wonderful. It was good. I love hearing about the brain and studying about the brain. That's one of those things that I can nerd out on. Yeah.
Yes, me too. I used to do some work with John Arasaf, and he used to talk about brain science and also about how we should the things, if we visualize what we want and get our mind to think on that, it will come to pass. And he did a lot of work around brain science. It's amazing. So I could nerd out on that too.
Yeah. One thing that you were saying, if it's all right, Arliss, that you were saying that I'm always telling people that we have to be mindful of our words, because it's like you can commit suicide just a little bit with those negative words that you speak on a daily basis. And you can commit murder just a little bit. What you speak against other people, because it affects their cells as well.
Wow.
Somebody says something to you and it makes you feel some kind of way.
Yeah.
You murder just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Just by thinking that negative thought, and you have to just snap yourself out of it. It's wonderful. So thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed that, Arliss. And so just to say, we had a wonderful talk here from Arliss, and she said she talked about oh, sorry, I've got the wrong. Here we go. She just spoke to us about why is it important to build self-love into our lives, and the things that we can introduce in the new year as a routine to take care of our mind and soul and our body and our cells, because our cells are listening to us. So that is absolutely wonderful. So I just want to say, Arliss, that I will definitely take that. And the good thing is I'm actually going to be a speaker at an event that Arliss is going to, but I'm going to let her share more about it in a moment. But just wanted to say, Arliss, can you share with the audience, how do, we know now how you help your clients, but for those who are listening and watching today, please share with us a little bit about where people can find you, how they can know more about this brain science and to start following you. And she's got a freebie for you guys. So just let her share that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a website called Soullutions.com, Soullutions.com. And I will send the link over to Shirley so that she can put it in the chat as well. And that's a really great way to get a hold of me and see where I am. I'm also on Twitter and on Facebook and Instagram as Arliss Dudley-Cash or as Soullutions. And we are so excited to have Shirley speaking at our New Year Love You Summit and Celebration. I am so honored to have an amazing co-host, Diana Gremillion. We co-host the Body Positivity podcast, and we put on 3 events a year. And our upcoming event, January 13th, 14th, and 15th, is going to be amazing. It's the New Year, New You self-love, self-acceptance summit and celebration, and Shirley is going to be a speaker. It's going to be incredible. And I'm also offering today a free strategy session. So I'm going to be putting that link in the chat too.
I've just put it in the chat for you so we can see it. Yeah, down the bottom there.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's
30
awesome.
minutes self-care, love. So it's there at the bottom. So you can see it in the bottom, and we'll also put it on the Facebook page as well.
Absolutely. And if anyone listening is interested in attending that event, reach out to Shirley. She has a promo code that she can offer you sometime at the end of this week, where you'll get a super secret discount just from her. So make sure you reach out to her.
And for those who are watching as well, look at in the chat here, we've got the link, which is a free link where Arliss is sharing a coaching session with you. So we will share that in the chat as well. So do get in touch with her. She's also got a Facebook page as well, and your website, which I did put in the link. I'll share that again with you here again. So how to find her, more about her. There's her website here where you can find out more about her. And don't forget to get that wonderful gift that Arliss is actually sharing with you. And that was amazing. Thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Wonderful. And I think it's so great to have that engagement. It gets us to set our health goals too, which is amazing. Let's see what our audience is saying. We don't want to leave our audience out. Verona is saying, be intentional about all my goal settings. I'm very strict with self-care, so my goals are a part of it. Isn't that wonderful? And Shirley said, positive affirmations every morning. Very good. So important, ladies, to have that positive affirmations. So thanks again. So now we're going to have a short little infomercial break. And I'm just going to make sure that I can get and then we're going to have the wonderful Dr. Hillary come and share with us. Thank you again so much, Arliss. I really thoroughly enjoyed that and look forward to working with you and being a speaker at your event. So just remember, I will be sharing the links with you on my page. I'll be posting as well about the link. Can you just remind them of the title again? Arliss, the title of the event, your upcoming event?
Yes, it's New Year Love You Summit and Celebration, January 13, 14, and 15.
Wonderful, wonderful. Not long away. And I think it will be come at the right time, just as we do in time after Christmas. I think it will be well needed. Especially after everybody has been tucking into the mince pies and, the eggnog and you name it. So I'm going to try and see if I can share this promo with you now. Let me see if I can actually... Will it let you share a screen on here in the same way as I'm just trying to see? Let me have a look and see if it will let me share. Oh, it says sharing is easier with two. Okay. I'm just wondering how I'm going to be able to show it. Nice. I'm not sure. Oh, sorry. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm not sure if it's letting me share it. One minute. I'm just going to try one quick thing. Let's see if it will let me share it there. I'm not sure if it's going to let me share it. If not, we'll carry on. Sorry about that, Dr. No, it's not letting me. Okay, we'll try and share it later on. So I don't want to hold up the time. I'm going to try and share it after your talk, Dr. Hillary, because for some reason I can't get it to upload. So I just want to introduce to you now. Thanks again to Arliss. I appreciate it and really thoroughly enjoyed that talk. It's been wonderful. So now we have our wonderful, wonderful Dr. Hillary Gooden. And I'm just going to put details up so you can see who this wonderful lady is. Just make sure I'm putting the right thing up. Yeah, she is an author. Again, as I'm saying, Dr. Hillary, she's an author, speaker, vibrant life coach, Cered Lymphology Expert, spiritual leader as well. And she's going to talk to you and give you some secret sauce on how you can improve your lymphatic system through bounce. Is that right, Dr.? Have I got that right, Dr. Hillary?
That's part of it for sure.
So over to you. Over to you.
All right. Well, thank you again for inviting me to be a part of this Let's Talk Health. I love that title. And Arliss, I thoroughly enjoyed your presentation because when we talk about the brain, I'm like this. I'm all in. I want to hear it. And so I am a certified lymphologist. That's dealing with the lymphatic system. Having a healthy lymphatic system is going to help you to have a better health and I call it a more vibrant life. You want to have a healthy life. The Bible says, "Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper, be in good health, even as your soul prospers." So good health is what's promised to us. That's what's normal. We've gotten so used to being sick and talking about sickness and illnesses until people don't realize, I think, that being and feeling healthy and whole is what's normal. And so I am so excited that God has given me this whole thing about the lymphatic system, because there's not that many people that really talk about it, like nerding out on it. That's why I nerd out. When I talk about the lymphatic system, but as I was learning about it, there were days I would come home from my job that was very demanding, and I was waiting so I could driving so I could get home, so I could get back in my research about the lymphatic system. There were nights where I studied and researched and was just so into it. When I looked up, it was time to go to work again. It was time to go to work. It had got light outside, not in what? And I'm wide awake. My brain was just like absorbing my telomeres or whatever. Everything was receiving. And so this is what he's given me, along with being a pastor, along with all of the things I learned about leadership, learning about people, having a relationship with people on different levels. All of that stuff helps me to know that we can have a more vibrant life. And it starts with, and I always say this, it starts with the words we speak and the thoughts we allow our mind to entertain. Good health starts there first. And so that's why I was so like this here with Arliss. And so the lymphatic system is part of your immune system. It's a major component of your immune system. I think I'm kind of lagging behind. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So the lymphatic system is the major part of your immune system. It works in conjunction with every other system in the body in order to make sure that our cells are not bogged down with cellular waste or fluid that's gotten trapped from the bloodstream around our cells. And God knew we were going to need this, and so He put in this whole lymphatic system. Now, the one thing I want to say that's really people need to know is that your heart, your blood goes through your body, goes away from the heart back to the heart. Mm-hmm. How does that happen? The heart is it has a pump, and it's pumping the blood. The lymphatic system has lymph fluid that needs to also circulate through the body. But guess what? It does not have a pump. You are the pump. Movement is key. We are made to move our bodies. I mean, even if you have to get up and just do a couple of jumping jacks, get up and walk around from the kitchen back to the living room, moving our bodies is what God intended. Because we sit still at our computers, we can do so much sitting still, so much work from the time we wake up to the time it's time to go to bed if we're not careful. Until they have one, I guess they were running out of names to call different illnesses. That they got one I heard was called what is it? It got me so. It's called the sitting disease. The sitting disease.
Sofa. What they call it? Sofa. Couch potato.
We call it disease, right? And they want to give you a pharmaceutical for that. No, get up and move your body, because when we don't, when the lymphatic system is not working properly, you'll end up with the cellular waste, like I said, and fluid from the bloodstream that gets trapped around your cells. We call it inflammation. We call it pain. We call it lack of energy. We call it brain fog. We call it these mysterious aches and pains that look like it was on one side of the body one day and it's on the other side of the body. What's going on? You know, when you go to the doctor, they say, we don't see anything. Maybe it's just in your head. And you go, no, it's a pain right here. I think it was there. Now I feel like it's over here. You know, it's inflammation. And so the other thing that the lymphatic system is like a disposal system, like a vacuum cleaner. It goes, the lymph vessels go in around your cells to vacuum out any excess fluids that's gotten trapped. Excuse me for that. And then carries it away from that area to either it needs to leave the body or it goes to recirculate it back through the bloodstream. The body knows. That's what's so wonderful. But I always tell people, you got the power to help your body help you have better health. And so you can have that more vibrant life, doing those things you love to do, being around your family, being able to play with the kids, have that energy that you need. And the other beautiful thing is having vitality. I just love that word, because when you talk about vitality, that's being young at heart. I don't care what the number says. Yes. The number's going to keep going up if you keep living. But you don't have to feel old, you know? And so your lymphatic system, it helps to carry away those excesses. So it's going to help your digestion to be better. It's going to help your cardiovascular system to be better. It's going to help your nervous system to be better. It helps all the systems of the body. So it's very amazing. I read a study where we talked about if your lymphatic system goes down, say it stopped working, in 12 hours, you're out of here. You're gone. And so I knew this information. I was interviewed on the show about maybe 3 weeks ago on a radio show. And the gentleman, he was listening to me talking. He said, you know what? My lymphatic system, he said, I ended up really, really sick. I went into the hospital and they told me that my lymphatic system was not working right or something. He said, all my body was shutting down. I was like, woo. I said, it's a great thing you went in and they were able to turn things around, whatever they did, recognizing that it was the lymphatic system. And when it started going bad, everything started shutting down. So anyway, my whole mission is to let people know that you got the power. One of the number one ways that I found out, the number one way to activate and maintain a healthy lymphatic system is bouncing on a mini trampoline. I thought, God, you really got a sense of humor. Now, I sent people. Now, Miss Shirley, you sent me. You shared you tagged me in a thing about bouncing, and they were doing it for fitness. You know, a workout. Okay, that's not what I do. Okay, that is not what I do. So there are 3 types of bounces. You have the strength bounce, the aerobic bounce, and the health bounce. What you sent me was the aerobic bounce. That's not my focus is the health bounce.
The health bounce.
It's a gentle bounce where your feet don't necessarily have to leave the mat. Anybody can do it, you know. And it's so people that are drawn to people with chronic conditions, chronic autoimmune conditions. A lot of times they're in pain or they're not just doing it all together, and all of that beast mode bouncing, they wouldn't be able to do it. But being able to do that gentle bounce where your feet don't even have to leave the mat will help to activate your lymphatic system and cause those lymph vessels to go wherever is needed. Because if it's in your eye area, they call it glaucoma. If it's in your joint, they call it arthritis. You know, so depending on where it is, they have a name until the sitting disease. They kind of running out of names here. But, you know, just the same, you want to reduce that inflammation. And the first thing that you're going to see is you have more energy. You're going to have
reduced sedentary? Pain. Is it sedentary lifestyle?
No, I said one of the first things that you're going to know once you activate your lymphatic system, one of the first things you're going to know is that you're going to have more energy.
Yes. Oh, I need that.
Reduce pain wherever it is in the body. You're going to have clearer thinking, clarity, you know, and that's a wonderful thing because brain fog comes along with a lot of autoimmune conditions, and it's very frustrating. You know, we know sometimes we forget something. We rush into a room, and when we get there, we can't remember what the heck we went in there for. I believe that happens to us all. But when it happens,
I can relate. Only this week.
I know, right? It happens to me too.
Oh dear.
What about you, Arliss? Does that happen to you, Arliss? Is that just us?
It definitely happens to me, and I'm 36 years old, so it's not an age thing. It's definitely about, you know, being present, and I think I need to start bouncing more.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's fun also, you know, so you can do it and have fun. And so I have just worked this together with everything else I know about trying to have a more vibrant life, you know, being in tune with loving yourself, like you said. And also, because when you can love yourself, you can love other people a lot easier, you know. And just this is what I do now as a vibrant life coach. I know that to have that vibrant life, from where I stand, you need to have a activated and healthy lymphatic system, because it's going to help everything else. It's going to help your brain. And I always tell people, your brain, your mind believes everything you say. That's why I was just going like, oh, she got the technical stuff, but your mind believes everything you say. What are you saying about your health? I'm sick. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of that. I'm just sick. I'm gonna always be sick. I have to take these for the rest of my life. I gotta. No. It starts with the words that you speak. That's the words that your ears hear. You know, and so that's what I do. You know, and I know women that are busy leaders, and when I say leaders, you're maybe leading at home. You know, as a wife, as mother, leading on your job, leading in your business, leading at church, leading in the volunteer group, in the community group. Everybody's looking to you for answers. And guess what? You got the answers. You're the one with the answers. But what do you do when you just get an overload? Being now out there for everybody. Everybody.
It's true.
Because stress causes inflammation, and that inflammation is what causes the lack of energy, can cause pain and brain fog and all those other things. Lack of sleep. It can cause your immune system to not be boosted or not to be healthy as it could be, you know, and then can make you feel tired and old too. So you want to move your body. Bouncing on the mini trampoline is the number one way. Breathing techniques is another. Breathing exercises is another one. I heard you, Shirley, mention about breathing. Yeah, so it does help you to be more present. Yeah, and we could do a quick breathing exercise because we're not going to bounce. I'm not at my trampoline.
Can I just ask? Sorry, Dr. Hillary, can I just ask a quick question in case the viewers might want to know is, and the audience might want to know, how often would you recommend that you do the bouncing before you do the breathing session?
You can bounce daily, because I'm talking about doing the health bounce. You can bounce 3 to 5 minutes at a time, even less than that. Some people that are really dealing with autoimmune conditions or a real serious sickness in the body may not be able to even bounce a whole 3 minutes. You listen to your body, right? So you do what you can do, get off, and then try it again a little later. There's no wrong way to do it, except for maybe you can do it a little too long at first. So you want to do it and then listen to your body.
Bounce for 3.
Your body speaks to you.
Yes, it's true. Yes, let your body speak. It's true.
Yeah.
This is so interlinking with what Arliss was saying. It's all very interlinking, isn't it? Yes,
absolutely. And so breathing, I tell people, listen, you're breathing anyway, you might as well make it work for you. Let's use it to our good.
It's true. How true.
So, just a quick exercise on deep breathing and making sure that you're actually doing deep breathing. You want to deep breathe from your diaphragm. And so what you can do, I want you to put one hand on your stomach and one hand on your chest. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths. And then I'm going to ask you a question. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Breathe in through your nose, out through your nose. One more. Breathe in through your nose, out through your nose. Okay. Now, which hand was moving? And that's for the audience too. Was it the hand on your chest or was it the hand on your stomach?
The hand on my chest. Maybe I was doing it wrong.
What about you, Arliss?
The hand on my stomach.
Yes, and it should be the hand on your stomach. When you take a actual deep breath, and it's not just a shallow, what's called a shallow breath. If it was your hand on your chest, when you breathe in, your stomach should push out. When you exhale, it should come back in. And so sometimes it feels like it's the opposite of what we were taught as children. So you have to practice it.
How babies breathe. Yes,
how babies breathe. Or either how you breathe when you're laying on your back. When you lay on your back, you're going to breathe properly.
Yes.
But how often are you laying on your back through the day? So you can practice it so that you can make the most of it. Yes.
No, that's great.
I'm just going to say this quick thing about the breathing through the nose and out. So the breathing in through your nose, God set up a pathway, a pathway for our breathing where when we breathe in the air, first of all, it's warmed for the body. Second of all, it's filtered. That's what those little nose hairs are all about. It's filtered. And then the most special part is that your lungs knows how much air that it needs at any given time, so that you don't overbreathe. That's a whole nother topic. But so practice breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. The way you breathe during the day is how you breathe while you sleep. So if you're finding yourself waking up with your mouth fully dry because your mouth was open,
your mouth breathing,
mouth breathing, practice during the day so that it be easier on you through the night. That's pretty much what I wanted to share today. And if anybody had any questions, I'd be glad to take them.
Well, let's have a look at the chat and see what our audience is saying. Verona is saying, yes, detoxification of the lymph nodes is everything. Yes. Yeah. Nobody else is saying. So I'm just going to open up to the audience now. Is anyone who has any questions to say, can you put something in the chat while we've put your questions in the chat for Dr. Hillary. And if you have any questions for Arliss, can you put your questions in the chat as well while we're having this wonderful discussion? And just to say, Dr. Hillary, when you were saying about breathing out through the nose rather than through the mouth, because obviously God has given us these nasal these hairs to filter everything so that we don't get any of the bad stuff going through. So it's filtering the air, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. But sometimes I think it can be habit where you start breathing through your mouth instead of your nose. So I think that's a very good point you raised, that we should definitely breathe through the nose to filter everything.
Right. That's what it's there. That's what it's there for.
Definitely.
You know, when you're doing a strenuous exercise, then I say, okay, I understand that you can breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, you know, but just in daily sitting around like we're sitting here, you're doing working, breathe in and out through your nose.
Yes.
Man,
that was wonderful. That was awesome. Wonderful. Let's see if we've got any responses from our audience. Nobody's saying anything yet. They're listening attentively to what you're saying, which has been some good, great content. It's wonderful. So nobody's saying anything yet, but we'll see. Maybe they'll have some more to say later. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So do you do breathing, Arliss? Do you do a lot of breathing, meditation?
I do quite a bit of breathing meditation, and I lead meditation in a number of my group classes.
Wow.
And breathing is a key part of it. You know, for people that it's available to, tapping into that breath can be a real anchor point for them during the meditation.
Yes, that's really good. I heard one of speakers I had at a health summit that we had earlier in the year, and she was saying that somebody was at a hospital and they were breathing through the pain. They're breathing the pain out by calming the body down and breathing out the pain that they were in at the time, and they found that really, really helpful. So thank you so much. That is wonderful. Dr. Hillary, I was going to ask you, did you have your video to hand that you wanted to show? Because for some reason I can't upload it, but I don't know if you've got it your end. I don't know if it will let you share it.
I don't have it here right this minute.
I was going to try and play it, but I don't know, because when I try to share it, it's taken me to a different place, so I'm not sure why. Because I wanted to share it for you so I can share, but it's taken me to some completely different file. I don't know why.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Thank you.
But you can tell, and I'm going to actually put up here. So, as I said to Arliss earlier, where can people find you? Where can people find out more about you, what you do? Because you actually do a show as well, don't you? Let's Get Acquainted. I was on your show one time. So where can people find out more about you and about the bounce? Because you do classes as well, don't you?
Yes.
I have that with the audience.
Yes. So they can reach out to me for a free 20-minute clarity call. I did put that in the private chat there at bit.ly/speak with Hillary.
I'm going to put it up for you.
I also have a show that's on Tuesday nights called The Vibrant Good Health Show, where I talk about all things that you got the power to help your body help you live a more vibrant life. That's on my Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. And on Thursdays, I have a show called Let's Get Acquainted, where I use it as a platform to help other people that are doing great things in the world to help people. And that's also at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern every Thursday night. Let's Get Acquainted. And then I did put a freebie there too, because
freebie on the line.
Reduce stress. I think it was reduce stress, reduce anxiety that I sent. Otherwise, we'll put it in the chat. Because if you can get the stress down, you can help your health. Absolutely.
It'll be so good as well at this time, especially with the COVID and a lot of people having had the COVID, and then there's concerns and anxiety about the COVID variant. You know, these sort of things are very, very useful for people to do, especially what Arliss was mentioning earlier, and also what you were saying around the breathing and the bouncing, the health bounce. I love that, the health bounce. So
one other thing, if people are interested, I'm doing a how to have better quality sleep. They can reach out. They can direct message me on the platform there, or they can go to that link bit.ly/speak with Hillary. I'd love to talk to them there if they're having troubles with sleeping in any kind of way.
So you've put that in here. Let me see.
Yeah,
I've got the
BIT.
20. I've got the free clarity. What was the other one you said?
No, I said they can direct message me.
Did you put your link for the did you actually put your link for where they can find you on your page? I didn't see that.
They can go to Hillary Gooden. I'm at Hillary Gooden everywhere. Okay.
Because you're on Instagram, you're on LinkedIn as well, aren't you?
Yeah, mostly LinkedIn and Facebook. They can find me at Hillary Gooden.
Wonderful. And I've just popped in the chat here, free 20-minute clarity call with Dr. Hillary here. So you can actually copy down the link. We'll also put those onto the Facebook page, but you'll see it for those who watch the replay. And those who are watching now, I'm Shirley Power, health and lifestyle coach, and we are having a wonderful talk. Let's talk. We're talking about self-love and also about how by doing health abounds can boost and improve your health. So it's just wonderful. And you've just missed, if you've just joined us, you've just missed 2 amazing talks from our wonderful guests. And we're coming down now. We want to know if you have any questions, but let me see if we have now some questions in the chat. And Dr. Lotus has joined us. Thank you, Dr. Lotus. Dr. Lotus is saying another incredible conversation. Thank you, ladies. Do you have any questions, Dr. Lotus, about what you've heard? And she's actually sharing the pages for us. That's wonderful, so more people can see. Verona has said, what are some natural ways to detox the lymph nodes? What are some natural ways to detox lymph nodes? Can you answer that, Dr. Hillary?
Yeah, I just told her a couple of ways, and that's what that's doing is detoxing, bouncing on the mini trampoline and breathing properly. Breathing properly is going to help you too. Yes.
Brilliant. That's wonderful. I think that was all the questions that I saw. Okay, so hopefully keep the questions coming, audience. If you have any more questions for Arliss and for Dr. Hillary, then do share. And I'm not going to keep you long, but I'm going to speak to you briefly with just a few self-care tips for you to take away over the holidays, and just for you to introduce, because as we all know, the children are off, the husband is at home, you're having to be the taxi driver, you're having to go around, you're going to have to cook the meal, the turkey or the chestnuts roast, whatever it is. You know how it is, ladies, right? It's always the ladies. And although I had somebody said their husband's cooking for them this Christmas, but you know, if you don't have a husband, or you know, you have to do it yourself.
That's
so
right.
It's important to build in that self-care, and all of the things that have been discussed has really come to what, you know, all the interlinks for what we've been saying earlier. So for those of you who don't know me and who are just watching, or you're watching the replay, I am Shirley Powell. I am an author, speaker, health and lifestyle coach, and mentor, entrepreneur, health and wellbeing specialist, a pastor at our local church, and the founder of our health and wellness company called Your Life in Your Hands. So I just wanted to let me try and take that off the screen now. There we go. So I just wanted to share a little bit to you. What I'm going to be talking to you about is self-care. Just a few self-care tips. I'm not going to keep you long because I appreciate your time, and I'm so thankful that you've all joined us tonight. So we're going to talk about self-care. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about self-care, we are talking about things that care for your well-being, 4 key dimensions are looking at your emotional health, your physical health, your psychological health, and your spiritual health. So self-care is so important. And as a healthcare professional, we've seen that there's been a rise in mental health, anxiety, depression at this time because of the anxieties around the uncertainty of what's happening with the virus. You know, we've had a year where we've been in lockdown, and 2021 has been a challenging time for many, and we're still having to balance things in the end, as many of us as women entrepreneurs, and even as mothers, and you know, maybe single fathers as well, we're having to balance so many things, haven't we? You know, and you may be saying, I've got to look after the cat, I've got to go and take the kids here, I've got to take them here, you know, and you've got so many things that's going on. So it's so important to watch our stress levels. And the key things that our 2 speakers have mentioned about breathing and to help the lymphatic system, and also the brain science and how if we self-love, all of that helps. The same way, it's so important that we don't get burnout, we don't get compassion fatigue, and especially if we're someone in a caring role where we're actually caring for others, you can end up getting, you can relate what I'm saying, Dr. Hillary, we can, and Arliss, you can get that compassion fatigue if you're not careful. And my heart goes out to all the caregivers right now, and those who are caring for somebody, maybe caring for children, you may be caring for an elder, and all of these things. And then where do you have time for you to self-care? Where do you put self-care in the equation? And it's so important to have a self-care, because it's an important sense of overall integrity, and it ensures that we are walking the talk. So it's so important for us to do it. And mental health, as I said, is so high on the agenda right now, that it's important to nourish our mind, as Arliss was alluding to earlier. It's important to nourish our body, our heart, and our spirit, and actively reduce and manage the stress in our life, you know. And I would like to say to those out there who are watching, when was the last time you had a health check? You know, we go out and we go and MOT our cars, right? We call it MOT in the UK. I don't know what they call it in the States. What do you call it, Dr. Hillary? We call it MOT right here in England. But what do you call it in the States? Do you call
What does MOT stand for?
Well, the MOT is like, you know, when we take our car for a checkup, it's like a full checkup. So you have, you know, you're having a monitor of you change the oil in the, you check the battery, you make sure that the wheel's all right, you know, you put air in the tires. But when we talk about MOT of the health, we're talking about, what about yourself? You know, when's the last time you had your blood pressure checked? When's the last time you had your bloods checked? Because usually through your blood, you can find out a lot about what is happening through your blood by having a blood test. Now, many of us probably don't even have a blood test, or have never had a blood pressure check, but we should have our blood pressures checked at least once a year. Because, you know, with all of the stresses, the blood pressures, if you have raised blood pressure, you can end up being at risk of having a stroke and other ailments as well. And it's important to really check and review and have a current health status of where we are with our current health by having a health check, even if it's to screen, especially if you've got a family history of diabetes. You know, it's important to look at, because a lot of people are pre-diabetic and they don't even know because there's no symptoms. But by having the blood test, you can look at something called an HbA1c, and that is something that screens to look at the level of sugar in your blood. And through that, you can then check whether you are diabetic, you know, or you're pre-diabetic. And I think it's important to catch it, because I'm all about preventative healthcare, because if you can prevent yourself from going on to get one of these 4 major killing diseases, heart disease, stroke, and all the other things, liver disease, diabetes, these things can go on, and they're not just a condition on their own. They're all complex and relate to other parts of the body. Like once you've got diabetes, you've got the liver, and you've got the kidneys, and all those things come into the equation. So it's really important also to ensure that we're getting enough physical activity to prevent us from getting dementia, to prevent us from getting weak bones and joints, because our body, you know, we've got our spine that's holding us up, but it's important to have those because there's a more 30% all cause of mortality by not having enough physical exercise. So it's important to exercise, even if it's going for a walk, a brisk walk, or doing 30 minutes a day of physical exercise. And Dr. Hillary has just mentioned one that you can do on the, you know, bounce, get your mini trampoline. I'm sure she'll tell you where you can get one from later. So it's really important. And also, colon cancer. Cancer is on the increase. Everywhere I turn, somebody's saying they've got cancer, and I'm thinking, wow. So 30% of colon cancer can be avoided by increasing regular physical exercise. And also it can help to decrease the depression in your life as well by having exercise. You know, they say the walking can stimulate the endorphins, which is a hormone in your brain, by going for a walk. You know, it's supposed to be very good for you. And somebody said to me the other day, you know, is it, you know, who talks to themselves? I'm guilty. But they say those people who talk to themselves are very intelligent, because you're actually talking to yourself and talking out what you're going to do. So it's important to talk to yourself and really you answer yourself. But yes, apparently they say those who talk to themselves, because you're talking through what you're going to do. Some people might say, "God, man, she's crazy." It's important to talk to yourself as well, because it really helps to get the mind going and do that. Now, don't they, Shirley said, go talk to yourself. They might think they might go and lock you up. But no, it's so important. So really, self-care, we've heard some tips from Arliss and from Dr. Gooden about how we can, you know, incorporate things. But I'm going to give you some physical tips that you can take away today to be able to implement. Now, one of the things that I do every morning when I wake up, I have some hot water with lemon. And having hot water with lemon in it, you can have that. You can put a little bit of apple cider in there and you can drink that, and that gets your body and your gut ready for the food for the day that you're going to have for the day. It's very good. It's a cleansing system. It really does help to rejuvenate you've got dull skin. It rejuvenates your skin. It helps you to digest your food better. And it helps with that bloatedness that people can get, you know. So see, Dr. Hillary is agreeing with me there. So yeah, so it's very good to do that. And also we have to look at ways of managing also ourselves and what we do in the morning. So one of the things that I do every morning is I have an hour power hour. By having one of my coaches said to me that is a wonderful thing to do. By having a power hour, that is before you switch on the phone, before you take a call, before you look at the computer, you have 20 minutes, split that the power hour into 20 minutes where you're actually working on your mind, your body, and your soul. And you could actually do 20 minutes of physical activity. You can do your breathing, as Dr. Hillary was saying. You can do your self-love. You see what it's all coming in, it's all coming together. And that will really help you to set your day off. Don't even touch the phone, even if the phone go, you know. And I would advise you not to have the phone in the bedroom. Switch your phone off and switch off and declutter. And one of the things I want to say is, this is a wonderful quote from Ron Swanson, which says, never half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing. And one of my says, you know, because if we are overwhelmed, can you imagine it? I can picture the lady, visualized woman holding her head because she's got the to-do list and everything to do. But focus on one thing at a time and prioritize what is important to you. You know, journaling is very good. Something you can do. You can journal. If you're somebody who goes to bed at night and you can't relax, have your notebook nearby and just I always call it brain dump, you know, so you write all your little notes out. If you're thinking about what you're going to do the next day, just write your things out and put them by your bed, and you can then deal with it in the morning. And declutter that. And also another thing we should do is sleep. We spoke briefly about sleep, but I want to just share a little bit about sleep. There's something called the Chinese medicine circadian clock. Has anybody heard of that? It's a 24-hour clock. And what it does, at certain times when you go to bed, there are certain things that are happening in your body. Have you heard of it, Dr. Arliss? Have you heard? I'm calling you doctor now. I promoted you. Never heard of it. So what it is, it's the 24-hour circadian clock, Chinese medicine clock. What it does, it goes through a period of where something happens in your body when you sleep. That's why it's important to get at least your 7 to 8 hours sleep a night, because say from 11 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock, I think 9 o'clock is the time you should start to wind down, because normally at 9 o'clock, your pericardium, which is the lining around your heart, it's protection, and that's when you should have some self-love, building some self-love there. You see, Arliss, it's right. Self-love coming there. You can do some light reading, protecting yourself, and then you've got around 10 o'clock, you have the triple burners, which is the endocrine, the metabolic, and the balancing systems. All of those will help you. You're starting to feel a little bit sleepy and unwinding then. And around between 11 and 12 is when your gallbladder starts to release bile, and then you have that cellular repair, and it builds on the blood cells. So your gallbladder, all of that is re-energizing and starting to repair. Then between 1 and 3 in the morning, when you're going into that deep sleep, when you should be, your blood is detoxifying, and that's when you're getting your rest and your recovery plan, and your liver is starting to detox. So it's important. So when people say, oh, I've got pain in my back or something, did you get enough time to get your liver to detox while you were sleeping? You're probably up and you're not sleeping, so you're not giving your body enough time to rest and recover for the next day. And then between 3 and 5, or I said between 3 and 6, what happens then is you should be into that deep sleep. Your lungs are starting to detox. So it's important for your lungs to detox when you get into that deep sleep. And that's when you're having your dreams and your memory going on. And then it's also having an impact on your large intestines. And they too will start to do things, you know, your bowels will start to, it'll get you ready for when you have your bowel motion the next day. So it will work on your large intestines and your lungs. So that's why it's important to go to sleep, so your lungs can start to detox as well. And then from 8 o'clock, you're then getting ready for your good concentration for your walk, and then your spleen goes through an issue. So every part of your body is going for a period where it's going through that repair while you sleep. So have you ever found when you've not had enough sleep and you wake up and as Dr. Hillary says, you have that brain fog? It's because you've not given your chance for your brain to start to repair those cells so that you get that clear thinking. And that is one of the things that you need to do, to be able to get that clear thinking so you can get up and get ready to go for the next day. Now, I'm conscious of the time. There are a few other things I wanted to say with you, but I will stop there. But I want to say, if you would like to know a little bit more about self-care, you can come and you can book a call with me. Let me just pop in here how you can reach out to me. You can reach out to me here. You can find me here on our website, yourlifeinyourhands.co.uk, on our Facebook page, which you're on now, or on our Instagram. We do a lot of posts on Instagram at Your Life in Your Hands with the initials there. And we're also on Twitter as well. So we're all over the place, a bit like Dr. Hillary. And I want to share with you a free gift, which we have here, which is a freebie 15 tips of healthcare success, where you can find that in the link, which I will put in the chat. And also you can book a 30-minute consultation with me if you want to talk about your health. So let's talk health. So I want to thank all of you for staying. For those of you who stay, I'm just going to see if we have any more questions for our guests. So we've got lots from Dr. Lotus. Wow. Where we go here. Dr. Lotus is saying here, let's put it up here for you. Dr. Hurley, why is the lymph system one of the most important systems in the body to stay healthy?
Okay, it's one of the most important because it helps to remove away cellular waste, those things that can cause harm to the body, harm to the other systems of the body. It causes homeostasis. Also, the body can come into a place where everything is working together the way God intended.
So will you say that for those who might not know what homeostasis is, like balance? The balance, are you saying like balancing?
Yeah, where all things are working together peacefully, cohabitating there, doing what they're supposed to do together. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Let's see if we got any more questions. So what are 3 must-have natural herbs that we can take to enhance our health? Who wants to answer that one? Do you know?
Well, you know what?
If you know, I posted something today about health, but I don't know if you haven't. You go ahead, Dr. Hillary, and then I will mention some.
Oh, well, I'll just mention one and I'll leave the rest to you. But it's one,
Okay.
It's called bear root. They call it bear root, or else they call it Osha. Indians way, Osha. And it's good for your respiratory system and helps to reduce inflammation in the body. And it's really, really good. You take one, you know, you get it in powder form, or you can get it in vegetables.
How do you spell that? Osha?
Osha. Osha.
Osha. Let me put it in the chat.
Otherwise called it the bear root, because the Indians found that the bears would take that when they were feeling sick and feel better. So they said, let's check this out for ourselves. And it's really a good thing. I started taking it, and it really is good. Keeps that inflammation down as well.
And where would you get that from?
I went on Amazon and found it.
Oh, Amazon. Okay. I've never heard of that one before, but thank you for sharing. There's a couple that I would suggest as well. Nettle is very good, and it's very good for the immune system, and it generates positive energy. And another one is cat's claw. Don't know if you've heard of cat's claw. That's another one that's very good. There's a few more, and I can share some. I think I shared one today on my page with quite a few of them, Dr. Lotus. So I'll tag you in it, and then you can see there's quite a few that are very good for that. So thank you very much. Let me see if we've got any more questions. Do you have a book that you have written on this topic?
And I do have a book. Oh, I have a book called...
I'm assuming that's for you.
Yeah, I have a book called You Got the Power. 7 Ways to Transform Your Health and Peace. And you can find that at www.hillarygooden.com.
You got the power.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm putting that in the chat.
I'm a co-author of a book called Break Free to Health and Vitality. And my chapter is all about self-love, but all of the chapters really talk about the importance of self-care. And it's an amazing read from mostly female authors that really, really dive deep into how self-love and self-care supports us in health.
Would you be able to share those links for me so I can put them in the chat on the Facebook page later? That would be great for both of you. If you have them, that would be great. Thank you so much. We have another question from Dr. Lotus. My mom has not been feeling her best, but I had her jumping on the trampoline last night, and then she slept very well. Oh, wow. That's good news.
I love it.
Wonderful.
I love it.
And she said she talked to herself a lot. She liked the power hour. The power hour is awesome. Thanks for sharing that, because I hadn't gotten away from that. Self-love is key. and then I mentioned the books. Thank you so much, Dr. Lotus, for your questions. And if any of you have any other questions, do feel free to put them in the chat, because I can actually get back to our wonderful speakers and get them to share their thoughts. So we're going to bring it to an end. We've gone a little bit over the time, but we hope that you enjoyed the talk tonight and the Let's Talk In, and it'd be lovely for us to do another one later on in the year. But I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Did you enjoy yourself, Dr. Hillary and Arliss? Did you enjoy the session?
Yes, it was so much fun.
Yes, I enjoyed it too, and I enjoyed Arliss's nerdiness. It's okay to be nerdy about good health. I love it. I love it.
Yes, absolutely.
We'd love you to attend the upcoming event that Arliss has, that's happening from January 13th through to the 15th, and all about self-love. And come and listen to us there. We will share this information for you so that you can join. And you can also, again, find out about Dr. Hillary Gooden on her page, and all of the wonderful things that she's doing around health, bouncing for health. You can find out more about her, the links that we shared earlier. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you, everyone. And I hope you enjoyed the session. So bye, everyone.
Bye. Have a wonderful day, evening.